Alright, today we're working on my homemade log splitter. So I've been running this setup, I think this is either year 2 or year 3. And it does pretty good. You can see the pile that I had. I've already took 2 dump truck loads and a pickup load out of this. So it's been doing good. I have a little left to split, but I want to do some repairs here and some upgrades. Number one, some of this pipe here is leaking on this filter. It's a little loose. And I think I didn't use oil grade tape on that. So, I want to work on that and either fix up this hydraulic tank, or I have another tank I could use, but I think we'll just fix this one. So it's gonna need, I want to put a sight glass on here so you can see where the oil level is. And then I got a larger hydraulic pump because the engine's a little big for this one and I would like it to cycle faster. And also got the mount that bolts to the engine and holds the pump, because I think I'm getting some weird flex where this is mounted to this, and I don't know, these couplings are lined up pretty good, but it keeps eating the ears off. Or maybe they're just too small. But anyways, got new ones of those. So yeah, you can see, and a lot of this on here was kind of just temporarily mocked up to see how everything was going to work. Like this piece here, I want to continue that on over. It keeps big blocks from rolling off the edge. That's a good angle. That's been working good. This has been working good. Brace it up. Over on the other side where I had these to hold the blocks of wood, that one broke off. I set it right here. So we need to do some welding and get that back on there. This bolt's broken in here. Need to address that. And also got a new valve because this one leaks out the valve. Those are machined. Once they wear out, can't really do much. This 4-way wedge works good. Every now and again, if you get a weird knot or something, it'll kind of bow these down. This one I need to heat up and kind of bend back up. That ain't no big deal. And I need to clean all this crap out of here. And I may take some metal and fill in this little hole so it don't keep filling up with wood chips and stuff. Other than that, I'm about done talking. So this thing used to have wheels on it, but it sat too low, so I put these stilts on here. I have a video on most of this stuff. I put this little diesel engine on here and kind of redone this thing. It was homemade. Someone gave it to me and then redone it to make it work better, and it does good. So I just want to upgrade some things. So let's see if I can get the tractor over here and pick this thing up. See if this thing here will fire up. It is pretty cold out here. Let's see if this little thing will do it. Yeah, she's cold. See if it'll idle. Where do I want to start with this thing? I need to drain this. To drain this, I need to take all that apart. This thing really, I might just have all new hoses made. These are pretty rough and too long. Like, you can see this one, it's looped. Like, really, it just needs to be like that long. But I also need to see if that new valve has the same fittings. If it don't, that's gonna suck. But yeah. It's like, yeah, let me go check out this stuff. Alright, here's some of the new parts we got. I got a new filter here. I got one of these sight glasses to put on the hydraulic tank. Those are expensive. This mount here actually goes to the motor. So hopefully it quits eating them couplings up. Here's this new pump. It's pretty good size there. Here's the new Lovejoy couplings. Here's my new valve. And what else? I guess it came with 2 bolts. That's good. So yeah. It didn't come with the little suction tube that goes on here. Like the bulb. I may have to get one of them. Okay, well, this one is a lot smaller. This handle's set up backwards. I think I just flip it around. The outlet's here. That's right. So it means the inlet's here. And then those two, I think that's the same thread. 1/2-inch pipe. This one might be 3/4. I'd really like to wash this thing first before I start taking lines loose. Yeah, so I'm gonna let the pressure washer unthaw and we'll come back. We don't have to. guess I'm just going to start taking everything apart. And we'll, I guess, work on the hydraulic tank first. So let's do that. Alright, at least I was smart when I done this. I put a shutoff valve on the feed side so I could get the tank out without leaking oil everywhere. Let's drain this out. I've been getting water intrusion. I think it was coming from the old cap, so I made a new cap thing for it. So we're going to get this changed and cleaned out. Okay, the inlet for the new pump is 1 inch. The old one I had 3/4. I don't know if I got enough pipe to plumb this, but at least I know. And I think the return is 3/4. I don't think that really matters. So I'm gonna have to build a bracket here to hold this. First, I just need to get all the oil out of here and cut the top off of this, because I think on this return side it needs to, I'm pretty sure it just splashes in there and causes it to overflow out the vent, I think just from aerating it. So I think if I put something turned down a little bit in there, it would help send it underneath the oil. So I don't know, just trial and error. Alright, it's been draining long enough. See if I can unscrew this without unscrewing the valve. No. Oh, really? That's in the way. Just gonna clean out the threads for these holes. Pretty sure that's what size that we're supposed to be. Starts in there. Let's see what we got here. Yep, that's the bolts that go in there. Probably need to go find some shorter ones. All of this here lines up. I'll have to get some shorter bolts or just stack washers behind these. Sweet. Alrighty, well, time to switch our attention to the hydraulic tank. Get this filter off of here. Yeah, either the water went in there and froze or something froze and busted that. Or it got so clogged up the pressure did. I didn't realize that. Heck. Now we can take this here off. I'd say water froze because it has a bypass up here. If it gets too much pressure, it will just bypass the filter. All right. Ready? Let's set this somewhere. All right, let's cut the top off this. I don't know about this welder. The Pilot Arc quit working on this plasma cutter. And so I ordered new consumables like 3 weeks ago and they're still not here. So I don't know how good this thing's actually gonna be. Oh, I need to switch. I mean, it works good. Alright, yeah, here's what I was after. See this? It just dumped straight out, and the hydraulic level is usually like in here, so I think that's creating a whole lot of air. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but usually it returns below the level, right? Usually the level isn't above that, so there's a screen in there. I guess at one point that was on there. Alright, well, so I'll get some rags and stuff, clean this up, and find a 90-degree elbow to put on there. Get y'all where you can see, maybe. I couldn't find a 90, but I found a 45. That'll work. welds look atrocious. Right here, I figure, is probably going to be the best spot to put that. Line the center of the bolts up. Looks like 2 and 5. Should be it. Then I got these nuts to weld on the back. See if that lines up center and center. Looks good to me. That's it. Alright. I could probably get away with just tapping that, but got these nuts, they were not the right size. Somehow or another. Hey, the O-ring seals on the surface, so those don't have to be welded solid. We can tap this. together nice and straight. Now, what are the odds? Oh, yeah. Yep. I don't know how we done it, but that thing lines up great. I'll let that cool off so I don't fry these O-rings. Alright, got this tank really clean inside. That's in there. I even put a magnet down there by where the suction is, a strong magnet, so if any little debris gets in there, it won't go through that pump. So I guess we're ready to put this back. This is that stand that that mount for that pump was on. We don't need that anymore. Got that half done. Let me see, we got a weld here. No, there. Alright, well, that's out there. So, this is the shaft that I machined this keyway in with an angle grinder. And it worked out pretty good. New coupling. This is a L100 Lovejoy 1-inch. I don't know if I can get the spider out of it. I may have to find a shorter keyway. Bunch of that on there, because I do not want this thing to seize on the shaft. So different. No, I think I put that in backwards actually. Let me put a little dab on these. They sent me bolts for this around here too, that way. this thing doesn't corrode to this piece here. Just thinking about the future, because I will definitely be the next one working on it. And this thing does sit outside. Now the only way to see this thing is through the slot in the bottom. There we go. Now she went on there. Alright, well, so mounted up. That looks pretty good. Okay, the camera died at some point, so I'm working on the plumbing on this. So what I need, this new inlet's 1 inch, so before I had 3/4. This is 1.5 inches out. So I was digging around looking for things to get this from 1.5 inches to 1 inch. I had to get a little creative, but I found this big 1.5 inch valve. So I think the plan is going to be to put this here, and I couldn't find a reducer, but I need a 90 anyways, so I found a 1.5 inch T that goes to 1 inch, so that'll give me my 1 inch. So let's just dry fit all this thing. I'll probably cut the handle off of this, but for now it'll serve its purpose. Then I found this piece. I didn't have it. I wish I had a shorter one. And I had a galvanized plug. So this will get me to the 90 that I need. Which means I should have good flow. Let me put this. Because I'll probably put the engine in a different spot now. Okay, this goes right here. You know, though, I could have it like this. I would just have this engine. I don't know. It'd be nice if I had a shorter one. I might have to go to the store. If I had a shorter one of these, I think we'd be okay. Now do I want the engine on this side? I feel it on one of it. On this side. think we're gonna forget throwing that great big valve in there. Then we'll just put this on. Have this, and there's our 1 inch. Then if I want to put this right there, I can. So I'd like it to be a little bit closer. We're mocking everything up. We're not putting stuff in the way of other things. All right, that's on there. I don't know if I need to weld a bracket on there for that. I got that thing pretty dang tight. Just say I do want the engine. Right in here. Of course, it'd probably be better though, honestly. It's not terrible. Yeah. This will go here. I just need some pipe to get that over to here. What do y'all think? Because then this would be like that. Got the rubber hose that would go in between to isolate the vibration. I don't know, that may work. Only downside is I don't have a shut-off valve. But then again, in 3 years I've never had to use a shut-off valve until now, but I had to drain the oil out anyways. I don't know. Should I go spend 20 bucks on a valve and plumb it in there, or just plumb it where she's just live? I guess worst thing that could happen is some oil leaks out. I don't know. I'll think about it. I think I'm about done with this plumbing stuff. I'm gonna start working on welding on all this stuff here. Let's do that. Alright, let's see if we can get this wedge fixed. So it needs kind of twisted and bent up, if that makes sense. a lot tougher. Now that should work a lot better. Hopefully. If I could get it right in there, tweak that up a little bit. Hopefully that's gonna happen though. That might work a lot better. See, when it gets twisted and angled down, it jams the wood right here, so that should be a lot better than it was. Now it'll probably snap off where I've heated that. Not fancy. Most of my wood I split pretty big, but last night you can see I got this bracket made up for this valve. It had to be mounted upside down on the previous one. I welded this right here, so I got a spot to set logs. Like if it's one, I got to run through there twice. Before, I kind of had to like stack it here, but then as I'm splitting it, it tries to push it off. And I didn't want to bring this out because I walk right through here when I'm using it. So with that there, now I can just drop the block of wood there, split that one twice, and go from there. Let's see, we got the engine bolted down, got all the plumbing done last night. I decided not to use that big valve, I just done it like that. So, and we got this rubber hose. I think this is oil rated, but I'm not sure. And yeah, sight glass, top welded back on. Return side's good. I got my hoses marked with tape. I'll have to go get some new hoses and 2 fittings, a 90 for this and a 90 for the outlet on the pump. And we'll be ready to try this thing out. But I figure I might clean this thing up, and I have a little extra paint. It used to be green, it's green paint, so I might try and brush some of that on. I ain't doing any prep work, but I'll wipe the oil and stuff off. Alright, we had to move outside because the paint fumes kind of fumed us out of the garage there. Anyways, I got back from the hydraulic shop, had my hoses made, and got the right fittings. This time on all my thread stuff, I'm using this. This I think will last a lot longer than just regular Teflon tape. That's what I used last time and they started leaking. I don't know how much of this you're actually supposed to put on the threads, but Oh, we're bending the bracket. Maybe I'm not going to get that extra turn out of it. Here. Alrighty. Put that one on there. See how that looks. I had the hose that was in good shape. I just had them cut it down and put 2 ends on it. So let me see. I'm not sure which one goes to which. So unfortunately, I guess we got to put it on and see if it's backwards or not. Hopefully no water's gotten in these. The longer one goes here. Honestly, I would like it to come up here. Might be able to do that. Now let me put some sealer on these. I doubt I can get that to go all the way around again. I'm hoping this is where this goes. Alright, that's on there. Actually, you know what? Might be easier. Put this on first. Alright, that looks a lot better. Before, the lines looped up everywhere. So maybe I'll zip tie this up and make it look a little more tidy. The only line I didn't replace was this return line, because there's no real pressure on the return line. And really this hose ain't in bad shape. It's cracked a little bit, but there's no real pressure on it, so I didn't bother changing it. So I guess then these here look good. If the cylinder's backwards, I just gotta swap these two hoses. So, and the paint job, I mean, it don't look terrible. We're not going for a show quality finish here. This paint was left over from that trailer, mixed up, so figure why not brush it on. So I need to fill that full of oil, and then I need to change the oil in this too. Well, we got it all poured here anyways. So yeah, let me go grab a bucket of hydraulic oil and see if we can fill this. Right. Y'all watch that sight glass. I'd like to get oil right to the bottom of it. Hopefully this thing don't leak. Even got a funnel. So we're all professional and stuff. Oh no. Alrighty, let's start pouring all this in here. That tank's bigger than I thought. 5 gallon, it's not even in the sight glass. Let me go grab another bucket. Let me screw this cap back on here first. All right. Hopefully that sight glass don't leak. That's about where I wanted it. Might have to add a little more. Alright, I'm going to fire this thing up. Hopefully it's plumbed right, and the sight glass should go down once it's got to fill up that cylinder and stuff. Luckily this thing always starts real easy. Cylinder. The good news is I plumbed it right. That's idling. That's about as fast as it was before. put some more oil in. I just want it right there because I figure as it heats up, it'll expand. Put a little more oil in it. Righty, here's that level right above that. It should, when I run the cylinder in, that should drop down. And when I bring it back out, it should come up. Okay, this hose, I probably should have got one that's not gonna collapse. Let me see if I can put some hose clamps on it to kind of hold that round. I may have to get a different. That engine does bog down. Gets a log on it or something, it's two-stage where it'll kick down to a lower flow rate and a higher pressure. So I don't know, I mean, it's not hot, so this exhaust is loose. Let me grab my pan. I'll go ahead and change oil in this thing. I know it needs changed. What size is this? I know this thing needs oil changed. I've used it a lot. On there, those of y'all that know these Yanmar engines, I don't think it has the magneto or whatever to charge battery. But is it just all I gotta do? I guess I can take this off, look at the flywheel. But I'd assume is just take this cover off and bolt the starter on, and then I would have electric start. Because if that's all there is to it, I may do that. Because it wouldn't be no big deal. It's not something I start and stop a lot. Like, I'll use it for a couple of days, split a bunch of wood, then I may not use it for a month. So I could just have a battery sitting here with a solar charger on it, and it'd probably be just fine. But all right. I remember right, I'm thinking it's a, like just a screen you clean, but, oh, yeah, it's just a screen, and I got oil everywhere. That's awesome. Let me clean it. Got this thing cleaned up. Let's put her back in there. Note for future self, it has a screen that you clean, not a filter, which is good because if it was a filter, I would have had to order it. I just run this 1540 and pretty much everything, lawnmowers and all. I usually have it on hand, so it's the easiest thing to just put in everything. I have no idea how much this holds. See, that should be about a quart. Still takes more. Oh, well, according to that, it's full right on the money. Sweet. Alright, I'm going to pull this cover off because I want to make sure there's no mice nest in there. A couple weeks back I started up and some looked like mouse nest stuff flew out of it, so I want to make sure. That there's nothing in it. Oh, does this air filter have to come off? No. Oh, yeah, there is too. Look at that right there. Wasn't much, but it's enough. So it's got the teeth right here. So I assume I can just bolt the starter on there. I might look into seeing what one of them cost. Just main reason is I'm just lazy. There's all that stuff. I think those bolts just need tightened up. Probably supposed to be like a spacer or something right there. See what I can come up with. Oh, I think that's a 12. I got a 13. So hopefully I can use all this. Got a piece of metal bent out there. Use that. Actually, that metal will just pull on out. Might put the big washer back here. See if I can get this nut started. This might be tricky. Go, that's a lot better. Alright, tighten those bolts up there. I may see if I can order a new gasket for that. It's probably blown out, but muffler ain't loose now. It's got to count for something. I can adjust this throttle, because the problem is, as you can see, you can't set it wide open. I always just hook that zip tie there. It just drifts off. So I'm going to see. I don't know what that bolt does. But I think if I loosen that and tighten this, it'll. Oh wait, hang on, that whole thing's tightening. I think there was a reason. Pretty sure I adjusted this before, and I think after it runs a few minutes. Oh yeah, that's stiff. Yeah, if that'll stay like that, that'd be ideal. Cut that zip tie off there. Alright, if that comes loose again, I'll take a punch or something and knock that nut tight, but that right there is nice. So yeah. There's a splitter. Later on I may try and find that hose, but it's not collapsing out. I put them 2 hose clamps on there. I don't know if that's the right hose for this application, but that's what I found. Hoses look nice and neat. Yeah, it does bog down a little bit, which is probably fine. I don't know. That old pump, it didn't bog at all, so I don't know. It does seem to cycle faster. I'll have to go through some footage and see how fast the old one cycled. I should have done that before, but I was excited to work on this. I forgot about it. Alright, it has been about 2 months since I done all the work to this, and I have not got to run a block of wood through it. So, got a pile of wood cut up here, and conveyor ready to go. So let's fire this thing up and split the first few blocks and see how that new pump does. think y'all get the picture there. So, had the chain break on my conveyor, which just happens from time to time. Ain't no big deal. I need to do a little work to this thing anyways and weld some of these cross braces back in and stuff, but I'll do that some other time. So far, I like the splitter. It seems to be working really well. And once that hydraulic oil got good and warm, I noticed it didn't bog down nowhere near as much when it was going backwards. So that's good. But I did notice this fitting right here is leaking. Now it's not running, you can't see it, but it's leaking right there. I'm pretty confident I put thread sealer on that, but take it out and fix that up. But yeah, so far all this seems to be doing good. Hydraulic oil level, this thing is kind of leaning downhill, but once it warmed, it was like right in there, and it warmed up to there. So yeah, seems to do good. It's not spitting oil out the breather. This is nice, keeps stuff from rolling. And then this angle I had over here is real nice to set things I got to split twice. All new hoses and stuff. Yeah, I'm liking it. That thing, I should have timed it what it was before. Maybe I can go back in a video and see what it was previously, my cycle time, because now it's pretty quick. Like it's no joke. Yeah, guess I'll wrap this one up. I wanted to split all that, but I didn't want to just keep piling it up here. Plus I have this whole mountain over here that I need to sell, so I should probably load that up and go deliver this, because there's a couple dump truck loads here. Hard to tell how big that pile is on camera, but there's quite a bit of wood there. Oh yeah, anyways, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap this one up here. And yeah, it took 2 months before I got good enough weather to get out here and split. Once this melts, it's really gonna be muddy. So anyways, y'all have a good day, and we'll see you in the next one.